5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Dreary days. While tonight's rain winds down, the clouds linger into the week ahead. Plus, another surge of moisture brings more rain by Tuesday night. The impacts that could have on bi-state commuters.
A deadly South City shooting sets a neighborhood on edge.
I don't get it. It's like, when is it gonna ever end, you know?
What police saw as they rushed to the scene. But first tonight, a Boeing offer bust.
We're not going to do it for an offer that we feel disrespected by.
We hear from both sides of the picket line after machinists vote down another contract offer from the aircraft giant.
Thank you for joining us at 10 o'clock. I'm Holden Kruwicki. More than 3,200 union machinists rejected Boeing's latest offer. This was the fourth vote since the strike began all the way back in August. We are now on day 83 of the strike. 5 on your side's Reagan Detrolio has more details from both sides of the picket line.
Despite the cold, rainy weather, union IAM members like Rory Long stood their ground on the picket line Sunday after rejecting Boeing's fourth offer to get them back to work.
None of us like being out here digging into our savings accounts, but, you know, especially now they're trying to push this 5-year contract. This will take us into 2030. We need to know that we'll be secure, making good enough wages by then.
Other employees like Benito Galvan did their best to stay warm by lighting a fire outside of Boeing headquarters, all while protesting for a better deal.
A lot of us thought that they were going to pull this, and I'm actually surprised that we were so close to not voting it down.
The vote was tight, 51 to 49%. The company sent us a statement saying, quote, with the close result and the increased interest we're hearing from teammates who want to cross the picket line, it's clear many understand the value of our offer. We are turning our focus to executing the next phase of our contingency plan in support of our customers.
Employees out here on the picket line say although they've been on strike for well over 80 days at this point, they say they aren't giving up and they are planning to stay out here until they can reach a fair deal for everyone.
They should give us more 401k than like the rest other Boeings get more 401k than we get.
Union members say they also need stronger wage increases, a solid ratification bonus, and real retirement security, something they say the latest offer didn't give them.
It's not what we deserve.
And every car that drives by the picket line makes sure to let the protesters know that they support them for the long haul.
I'm standing here, picketing, holding the line, waiting for something good to come of it, and I'm not going to fold.
Reporting in St. Louis County, I'm Reagan Detrolio, 5 on your side.
Boeing leaders say the latest offer included a 75% increase in bonuses across the board, a 45% increase in average wage growth and benefits, and a $3,000 bonus, a $1,000 retention bonus in year 4, along with a $3,000 stock benefit. A man is dead after a shooting in Dutchtown early this morning. Police say officers responded to the scene on Gasconade Street around 12:30 this morning. That's where they found a 32-year-old man shot inside a home. Officers say they saw bystanders tending to the man before they themselves jumped in to help save his life. Unfortunately, that man was taken to the hospital and later died. One woman says it's not unusual to hear gunshots, but today was just different.
I'm used to hearing them anyways, but prior to that, I heard somebody yelling about a necklace or something like that or whatever, and then we hear gunshots like all the time, so that's like nothing new, but it was like so many of them, in a row.
Right now, police believe the shooting happened outside of the home. Homicide detectives are investigating. A man is behind bars tonight, charged in the accidental shooting of a 3-year-old boy. It happened earlier this week in the Wells Goodfellow neighborhood. Prosecutors say Calvin Fain left a gun unattended while cleaning out a closet. That's when a toddler got a hold of the gun and accidentally shot himself in the hip. Fain was charged yesterday with child endangerment and having a gun as a felon. Tomorrow, the murder trial of former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson will continue. He's accused of shooting and killing Sonia Massey in her Springfield, Illinois home last year. The trial started last Monday. Since then, jurors have heard from multiple expert witnesses, including law enforcement officers and analysts. They also reviewed body camera footage from the night Massey was shot. More witnesses are expected to be heard throughout the week. Court opens at 9 a.m. tomorrow in Peoria. Attorneys involved in the case say closing statements are expected to happen Wednesday. One Metro East community could soon be one step closer to going solar. The O'Fallon Community Development Committee will meet tomorrow to discuss a new zoning classification for solar farms. Officials say the new classification is needed as more large-scale solar farms pop up across St. Clair County. They also say the new district would let the city keep local control over the project while complying with state regulations. But some opponents say the city could lose millions in tax dollars with the new zone. Tomorrow's meeting is set to begin at 6 o'clock in O'Fallon's City Hall. The O'Fallon Planning Commission approved the proposal for a solar farm zone just last month. Civil rights lawyer Ben Crump will now represent nearly 24 Cardinal Ritter football players who were pepper sprayed earlier this month following a game in Ohio. The incident happened October 3rd. Massillon police officers were providing security for the game when a fight broke out after. Officers say they pepper sprayed players after they refused to follow commands. The Cardinal Ritter players, families, and legal team will have more information at a press conference tomorrow afternoon at Cardinal Ritter College Prep. The rain's dying down, but the clouds will stick around for a while this week. Chief Meteorologist Scott Cottle has a look at our weather impact forecast. And Scott, has it stopped raining outside yet?
For many of us, it has. There's still a little bit of light rain, especially down to the south of St. Louis right now. But Lambert's eased up a little bit, downtown St. Louis as well. And the showers that are coming at us, you can see, as this is working in from the southwest, the whole general area is tending to fall apart, weaken and lessen in intensity. So I think we're going to wind this down through the overnight hours, which means tomorrow morning, lots of clouds still linger. But other than that, the rain chances are pretty low tomorrow morning. I think we'll have a mainly dry rush hour. Now, that may not be the case as we head towards the middle of the week. We have another surge in moisture heading our way, specifically later Tuesday into Tuesday night and into Wednesday. Right now, the timing of that amount of rainfall for an 18 to 24-hour period appears to peak as we head into Tuesday night and very early on Wednesday morning. In a few minutes, we'll track that out and see how that might impact our commutes for some of us as we head through the week ahead. Holden?
All right, thank you, Scott. As the government shutdown is putting a strain on travel, 26 days in, airports across the country have reported staffing shortages. And without enough manpower, there are some concerns about possible safety lapses. Jen Sullivan breaks down what's behind the staff shortages and what travelers can expect.
Thousands of flights have been delayed this weekend as airports across the country deal with staffing shortages.
There's going to be a lot less people coming in as people are going to be running out of money.
Oksana Kelly is a TSA agent in Orlando. Right now, she's not getting paid because of the government shutdown. Yet she still has to show up to work because TSA agents and air traffic controllers are considered essential employees. But many are having to call out sick because they say they simply can't afford to pay for things like gas or childcare costs.
If I have nowhere to leave my kids, how am I going to come to work?
According to flight tracker site FlightAware, more than 5,000 flights were delayed Saturday. More than 500 were canceled. Many of those delays are being blamed on staffing shortages.
We've gone up as high as 53% of the delays have been because of staffing shortages. And that number moves every single day.
It's frustrating some passengers.
I'm flying today on sheer faith.
They probably just need to come to an agreement and reopen the government.
Since the shutdown began October 1st, more than 250 FAA facilities have reported staffing problems. That's more than 4 times the number reported during the same period last year. The longer the shutdown lasts, the more financial pressure it puts on these workers.
That leads to an unnecessary distraction, and they cannot be 100% focused on their jobs, which makes this system less safe every day that this shutdown continues.
Travelers are being warned to expect longer security lines and to monitor their flights for any changes. All of this with less than a month to go before the busy holiday travel season. Jen Sullivan, 5 on your side.
You can find everything you need to know about the government shutdown on KSDK.com. Just text the word shutdown to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you a link. President Trump is facing pushback from his own party after suggesting the U.S. import beef from Argentina to lower consumer prices. The cost of beef has soared in the U.S. recently, going up nearly 15% according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. President Trump took to social media to urge ranchers to drop their prices last week. Missouri Congressman Mark Alford responded on X, calling the idea, quote, misguided. He says the solution should be rebuilding American herds after years of drought and supporting ranchers at home.
In the 3 years that I've been in Congress here in Missouri, we've gone from 95,000 farms down to 87,000 farms. I stand behind our beef producers here. We do not need more imports from Argentina.
The USDA recently unveiled a new plan to promote American beef. It includes goals to improve ranching business, expand processing, and build demand. Childcare in Missouri can now be more expensive than an in-state college tuition for some families. The Department of Health and Human Services says care is affordable if it's less than 7% of a family's income. But according to the Economic Policy Institute, on average, childcare in Missouri costs more than $13,000 a year. That's just for one infant. That's more than $1,000 a month. All this on top of a daycare shortage hitting some areas extremely hard.
For every child care opening in Lynn County, there's 40 kids in the county that needs that spot.
We know that we're probably going to have to double our capacity intake or our availability.
We had so many wait lists. We had people calling every single day.
State recently set aside $2.5 million for the Missouri Child Care Works program. That initiative helps parents split child care costs with the state and their job.
Caught in the crossfire of World War II, one man traded a piece of home to survive another day.
It wasn't doing me any good.
Now, 80 years later, a school full of students repay his sacrifice.
It was an honor, frankly.
Then, a hurricane muscles its way through the Caribbean.
We are in a very, very serious time.
Jamaica braces for Melissa.
More than 3 feet of rain possible in Jamaica from Melissa here at home. More rain's on the way, but it's beneficial rain for us. The timing on its arrival and departure and how that impacts your commutes this week.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
It's always a good idea to remember those who have served our country. In tonight's Making a Difference report, Mike Bush takes us to an Illinois high school where students discovered that a World War II veteran's wartime loss was a chance to give something back.
At Alton Marquette High School, students are assembling to honor a sacrifice made long ago and discovering that even after 80 years, some debts of gratitude can still be repaid.
Oh, say, can you see?
The guest of honor, Robert Ryan, class of 1941.
So let us begin with a prayer.
Whose journey from these halls would take him to places these students can scarcely imagine.
Okay.
Even at 101 years old,
insurance policy.
Robert Ryan still reports to his downtown Alton law office each morning.
A 1099.
Having long since filed a motion to dismiss the very concept of retirement.
I hear that retirement isn't all that great. Who wants to look at television except for news?
Yes, except for news. But before legal briefs in courtrooms,
mutual fund report,
Ryan was fighting for our freedom high above Nazi Germany. He was a navigator on the B-17 bomber. On his 5th mission, his crew was in the crosshairs of German gunners below and fighter pilots above, and his luck ran out. Captured on German soil, Ryan would endure the remainder of the war as a prisoner, where hunger became a dangerous enemy. And one day, an opportunity for an unusual trade presented itself at the fence line.
There was a Russian there on the other side of the barbed wire, and he had a can of sardines, and I was hungry.
So Ryan traded his class ring for a tin of sardines, a moment when necessity outweighed nostalgia.
It wasn't doing me any good.
Some of the awards.
Now, decades later, the school decided history deserved a different ending.
So we are pleased to be able to give back to you today a new class ring from the class of 1941.
For the students, history stepped from the pages of a book into real life.
Well, thank you very much.
And with characteristic wit, his assessment of the replacement compared to the original?
The original ring was worth a can of sardines. This one's probably worth more. Maybe 2 cans.
In this high school gymnasium, the circle is now complete.
May God bless each of you, On Explorers. Thank you.
Proof that a ring once traded for survival now holds its worth not in carats, but in character.
It was an honor, frankly, and I appreciated it very much.
Such a great story there. Robert Ryan was liberated from that German prison camp by General Patton's Third Army on April 29, 1945. A reminder, if you know someone who is making a difference for others, let Mike know by emailing him at mbush@ksdk.com. A rare megastorm is muscling its way through the Caribbean. Hurricane Melissa is expected to become a Category 5 hurricane in a matter of just hours. Winds hit at least 145 miles an hour as the storm started clawing its way to Jamaica. Urgent preps are underway for people in this path of the storm. The National Hurricane Center says Melissa could bring with it life-threatening rain and flooding. Up to 30 inches of rain is expected to be dropped on the region. Some may see more, and it could last for several days. At least 3 people are dead in Haiti due to the storm. Melissa also killed 1 person in the Dominican Republic. Today, last-minute preps swept across Jamaica as fishermen dragged their boats to the shore and residents evacuated.
What we're doing here today is pretty much just putting things together for the storm. So we use plywoods to barricade the areas and sandbags to ensure that during the storm we don't have any issues of any debris going inside.
Yeah, I have a lot of family. As long as I have my food, can eat, that is the most important thing.
Me personally, I've never witnessed a hurricane that has damaged Jamaica. So I'm not sure if I'm scared because I don't know what to expect.
The U.S. Embassy in Jamaica has advised U.S. citizens on the island to shelter in place and contact loved ones. The embassy will only be open for emergency services Monday through Friday. Melissa is expected to hit Cuba on Tuesday and the Bahamas on Wednesday. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with another look at our weather impact forecast. And Scott, just looking at the screen behind you, that is one impressive storm. It just got so big so fast.
It really did. It strengthened so rapidly, and still looks like that process is continuing tonight. It's still a Category 4 storm now with 145-mile-per-hour winds. But a couple of things to notice here. It's not moving very fast. It may have just taken a little bit of a southward jump, but it's generally moving to the west, but only at about 5 miles per hour, which means the prolonged impacts from this across Jamaica, once it eventually does make that turn and crosses over the island, it's just going to be bad for the folks down there. And if you have some friends that are down there and they're not able to get back, you may not hear from them once the storm makes landfall tomorrow night into Tuesday for a while. We're expecting widespread power outages down that way, and generally a lot of places will be isolated. Here at home, the wet weather continues, although it's let up, the rain has in St. Louis. Most of it's a little heavier south of St. Louis. We have seen those temperatures holding steady all afternoon in the lower 50s. Not exactly the most delightful day in the bi-state area with the clouds and the rain rolling in, but that rain letting up right now across the region. You did pick up close to 3/4 of an inch down in Arnold, a little more than that down towards Hillsborough. And then once you get down towards Farmington, between 1 and 2 inches on the road from Farmington down to Fredericktown. But that rain is winding down. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot more through the remainder of the overnight hours. 55 was our high. It is still 52. Low is 51. 4700s in the rain gauge. Upper 40s around 50 overnight as this rain winds down before daybreak. Tomorrow, a lot of clouds still around. Maybe a spritz or sprinkle, but there's not much in the way of rain for us tomorrow. Our attention then turns to the west and our next weather system. Late Tuesday into about lunchtime on Wednesday, more waves of moderate rain will roll through here. Wet roads, chilly conditions, breezy, especially on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a pretty raw day. The timing on this, though, here's the latest computer models and simulation of the radar. As we get towards rush hour Tuesday, the chances for rain do start to increase. Most of it's going to wait until after the rush hour Tuesday evening. But as we head towards Wednesday morning, I should say, for the rush hour, it is going to be wet, and then eventually that slides out. So Wednesday morning is most likely our biggest problem as far as rush hours go. Some of us may see another inch of rainfall. We'll give you the bonus 10-day tonight as we look towards this Halloween week. We are talking temperatures that are going to average below the typical numbers you find for the end of October. Our biggest events here Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday. That's when the rain is most likely, but it's dry for the trick-or-treaters.
It's time to go on the move. I'm Paul Cook, your traffic guy from Today in St. Louis. We are headed back to I-64 in St. Clair County, where drivers are getting totally backed up in Shiloh during the work week. This particular project started a few weeks ago. IDOT announced that one lane of traffic will be open in each direction throughout the project, and that may be what's causing the problem. Loads of traffic and only one lane. But keep in mind, they're trying to avoid doing work at peak travel times. This is the second of 3 phases for this project, and it should wrap up in December. If you're looking for an alternate route, try Highway 50 just north of I-64. The bigger project covers a 3-mile stretch of 64 from west of Greenmount Road to about a mile before Illinois 158. That's not expected to be finished until 2027. I'll keep you updated on its progress. Stay safe out there. Paul Cook, 5 on your side.
New leads into who stole the Louvre's crown jewels. What we know after French police catch one suspect trying to fly out of the country.
Because we did something that a lot of people said couldn't be done, and we saved maybe millions of lives on this one-piece deal.
President Donald Trump kicked off a high-stakes diplomatic visit to Asia in Malaysia today. He presided over a peace deal signing between Cambodia and Thailand. Dozens were killed and hundreds of thousands were displaced in a conflict between the 2 countries in July. Trump helped mediate the conflict. Today, the president also announced a new trade deal between the U.S., Cambodia, and Thailand.
We also are signing a major trade deal with Cambodia and a very important critical minerals agreement with Thailand. The United States will have a robust commerce and cooperation transactions, lots of them, with both nations as long as they live in peace.
Later this week, President Trump is expected to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping in South Korea. This comes after the U.S. and China slapped sweeping trade measures on each other after months of relative calm. At least 1 person is dead and 6 others are hurt after a mass shooting at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. It happened during the HBCU's homecoming football weekend. French police have made arrests in connection with a broad daylight jewelry heist at the Louvre. 2 men were taken into custody on suspicion of organized theft and criminal conspiracy. According to a Paris prosecutor, one of them was arrested Saturday at Charles de Gaulle Airport trying to leave the country. Investigators are still working to find all the thieves involved, and the 8 pieces of stolen crown jewels, estimated to be worth around $102 million. The shutdown couldn't shut this icon down for its birthday. How the Gateway Arch celebrated day 2 of its 60th birthday celebration. Despite the government shutdown, Gateway Arch National Park was alive and well just in time to celebrate the 60th anniversary of its completion. This comes with the help of several nonprofits and local businesses who are funding the park now through November 2nd. Today marked the 2nd day of the festivities, which included circus acts from a local performing troupe. One family came all the way from Wisconsin to visit the icon and made it here just in time to avoid the shutdown's impacts.
When that happened, we thought, oh no, I wonder if that's going to impact our trip. I wish it could be longer, but it's working out in our favor because this is the only time that we're going to be here for a while.
Tuesday, the Arch is planning a special Diamond Anniversary party with live music from a local high school band and Arch-themed crafts and activities. And about 4 hours away from the Arch, another giant icon recently celebrated its birthday. The Big Bat at the Louisville Slugger Museum turned 30. The giant piece of sports history was built and hand-painted back in 1995. And on Tuesday, fans threw it a big old birthday party with a card, a cake, and even a serenade. If you haven't made the trip down to Louisville, it's only about a 4-hour drive. You have to get out there and see that. Really neat. I used to work right down the street. Of course, I don't advise maybe driving in these conditions.
Yeah, it's a wet drive, certainly down Interstate 64 heading over towards Louisville right now. Here's what we've got. We're going to dry out a little bit tomorrow. More clouds than anything else, but there's more rain on the way for Tuesday, especially as we head into Tuesday night into Wednesday. Here's the good news, though. Trick-or-treaters will be dry. Not exceptionally warm, but dry. Still in the 50s Friday evening.
That is a treat. Thank you, Scott. And that's all of our time for 5 on Your Side. A late edition at 10, but we're always streaming on 5+. Start your day tomorrow with Today in St. Louis at 5 a.m. Sports Plus with Corey Miller is right after Jimmy Fallon.